Rose, actually Dr. Trevino, and I have an exciting guest. So let's see if we can get them on at this moment. So I'm going to log in. Hi, it's nice to see you. So I'm going to request. So I invited Dr. Tsung. So I'm just waiting for her to join in. And there she is. Everyone, thank you for watching. It's Dr. Rose. So let's see if Dr. Tsung jumps in now. So bear with me. Oh, hi.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing great. It's nice to see you here.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. I'm so glad we could make this
Yes,
happen.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everyone, hey guys, so this is Dr. Tsung. She is amazing. She is a NASA physician, flight physician. She is an amazing emergency room doctor with specialty in critical care. She also has an amazing podcast, and she is an amazing coach. And what she does is optimization, human optimization, and productivity, which we all could use as moms. And so this is amazing. She wears so many hats, and so I thought she would be perfect for us to just dive in and find out. First of all, what were your thoughts in joining this platform to help other women be more productive in their day?
Yeah, yeah, and thank you for the invite. I think before I created so many things and went on so many endeavors before I had my baby is now 16 months. So after I had my baby, a month or two in, I realized that my coaching, my social media, my real estate, I mean, like it was coming to a stall and my full-time work was coming to a stall. And then that 1 month, 2 months postpartum. And I actually thought to myself, like, this can't be the way. I have to keep progressing. And if I also want to be present with my baby and spend time with my family. So the tactics that I use, automating, delegating, eliminating things was what enabled me to actually 10x my productivity, actually instead of decreasing my productivity after having the baby. And now, especially, I'm currently 17 weeks pregnant with the second one on the way, so I'm actually super excited to
Amazing.
see whether the second pregnancy is going to get me even higher state. So love to share that with the audience. Whatever,
Wow,
any tactic that could be useful.
that's amazing. Just to do all that you do and have this toddler and also be expecting. And it's just wonderful. And I'm so glad that you could come on and help us and give us some tips.
Yeah.
So a lot of moms, they just feel the overwhelm too and how to balance their day. Do you have any tips like how to start the day, and especially if you're a career mom? Um, any
Yeah, yeah.
suggestions?
I think there's so many things that we can touch on. It really depends on your circumstance and your situation. Though the root of it all is that you take care of yourself first, no matter what. You take care of yourself first before you can have the bandwidth to care for your baby, to care for your spouse as well. So I cared, in the beginning, there was like minimal sleep. My husband and I basically alternated nights to waking up, feeding the baby. I did hire a night nanny for the first month to help out, and what I did was, and I hired a day nanny, and I told myself that no matter what, I would care for myself first, and which is meditation, which is working out, like going back to weightlifting. And if I didn't lift 3 times a week, then I wouldn't feel good myself. So I made sure I gathered the help that I needed, and 3 times a week, 2 weeks postpartum, I went back to weightlifting. And then I always prioritize sleep as much as possible, between pumping and sleep as much as possible. So um, So I would say scheduling, maybe number one thing is figure out what is your number one recovery. Sleep is always number one. It's hard with as a new mom, but later on when they start sleeping a little bit longer stretch, I found like alternating nights with my husband really helped a lot. So instead of somebody doing the first half, the other person does the second half of the night, at least every other night you're getting a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And scheduling like bi-weekly, whatever recovery, like chiropractor, massage, sensory deprivation, float, whatever that you need, time to meditate. So if they're scheduled in your calendar, ready to go, scheduled with the clinic, etc., then it's a non-negotiable spot on your calendar that you're just going to go regardless.
Oh, that these are really helpful tips to try to delegate, but also to find a passion that you have, such as some physical activity. Perhaps you could even do with your baby too, baby yoga, um, maybe going for walks in the stroller. This is extremely powerful tips that you provide. And also, I imagine too, just batching things together is very helpful. Do you have any advice on that?
Yeah, yeah. So if you don't have help, I mean, number one thing is to leverage out help if you can. If you like hire like high schoolers, college students, if you can, to hire out those help first instead of doing yourself. If you really have to, then you start batching it. So as an example, I delegated out all the to my our current house manager nanny, bottle washing, sterilization, baby meal prep when he started eating solids, adult meal prep, ordering groceries, getting delivered, because that 1 or 2 hours a week is so precious. I don't want to spend it at the grocery store myself picking out things. Um, so what else did I do? Basic cleaning, organizing the play area, laundry, all those things. Like I found, like when I speak with my clients, they're actually spending, a lot of the physician moms, entrepreneurs, they're spending 15 hours a week doing these things themselves. So, you know, it's if you can leverage that out, delegate it out, what can you do with 15 hours a week, right? But if you cannot hire somebody, so I would say definitely eliminating things first. So then you start batching things you actually have to do. So maybe if your play area is really messy, there's so many things to clean up. Maybe you just limit 8 toys in the play area and that's it. Just like the Montessori way, 8 toys in 8 cabinets or 7 toys. And so you limit the little pieces that you have to clean up, and any little pieces you're batching in like a basket or something like that. And I used to, if you're having to do a lot of sterilization and cleaning and bottle, just buy more bottles. So you don't have to like clean frequently, so you can batch the cleaning perhaps. And then we do meal prepping, so that's another form of batching. So our baby currently who's eating solids, we meal prep actually 9 days worth, 9 meals, 3 days worth of the same stuff, but we only have to meal prep for him every 3 days. Same thing with the adults, probably every 2, 3 days. So those are some examples of batching that you can do. And really just eliminate, look at all the things you have to do. If you don't have to do them, then just eliminate it. So if it really just doesn't matter anymore, then just eliminate it. So like, I don't know. I think one of the major things that we eliminated was, I'm thinking right now. I mean, we just don't have time to like watch. I mean, in the very, very beginning, we don't usually watch TV, but every so often that we would like go do a Netflix movie. And I do remember that every the first year of our lives that we didn't do that pretty much at all. And we eliminate even before that, but we don't scroll on social media. We don't go on social media at all. So that's what we eliminated. And we eliminated distractions. We eliminated saying yes to things that doesn't serve us. So people's requests, if it doesn't really serve us, serve our family, and if we're just doing it for other people and to look good, we eliminated that.
Oh, did you hear that, everyone? That's awesome. That's awesome advice. Definitely to eliminate things. For me, it's like keeping my bedroom clean and sacrifice for the kitchen. So that's awesome. Then just just being a people pleaser. You don't, it definitely, just stand your ground. If people are trying to come and visit, it's okay to say no. It's okay to make those boundaries with family members, and you'll be so much happier for that.
Yeah, yeah, you just reminded me of something else that I eliminated. I went back to work in the ER part-time, 3 weeks postpartum, but it was too hard to pump every 3 hours and to keep up with my patient load. I was definitely 50% slower than how I was. So I was at a place where, we really needed to be fast. So I eliminated that location in the ER to work at. And I chose to work at a different location that had a slower pace that could allow me to have the time to step away for 20 minutes every 3 hours to pump. And another thing I eliminated were night shifts. This was maybe 6 months ago because my own body, my own recovery was worth way more than anything else. And I wanted to have the bandwidth, the mental presence with my baby and my husband, and not be like, after a night shift, I'm like jet lagged for like 2, 3 days. So
Oh,
I eliminated night shifts, and that's it. And so don't be, as a new mom or your current mom of many, don't be afraid to draw boundaries for your children, for your spouse, for your own sanity. I've met a lot of women who don't think that they can request these schedules because they're stuck in their work or in their company or their job. But there's always something out there who can use your help. And, if you can just work like 1 or 2 days and no nights, then, there are places out there who are desperate enough and will say yes.
oh, absolutely. Even maybe as you during your pregnancy, you might want to approach your boss before you to have the baby to negotiate those the time that you need to go, for example, pick up your toddler from daycare a little earlier, leave a little earlier from work, and don't be shy to or
Yeah,
embarrassed.
yeah,
It's okay. What harm does it do to just ask?
yeah, because nobody, I always say nobody's going to watch out for your time except for yourself and the time with you and your kids and your husband.
Absolutely. Oh, Dr. Ann. So it looks like she froze. This is really great information. And oh, it
Can you hear me
froze. Yes, now it's
now?
coming
Am I
back.
frozen?
There
Okay,
we are.
okay.
So,
So
we would love
I'm
to hear. Oh,
sorry,
oh,
still?
it keeps
Okay,
breaking up. Oh, it's okay.
okay.
We'll get through it. So I just would like to open it up to the audience if there's any tips that you might want to share or ask to help you organize your day. Like maybe I think for batching, I know with kids they're always messing up their clothes. So I batch like, oh, I'm gonna do laundry these days, and then whatever happens, mess, I won't wash it right away. I'll just wait till that time comes where, okay, it's laundry hour, and I'll do that. That definitely keeps my sanity. Or this is my special time to draw with my toddler and spend time with them while baby is with daddy. So I'm going to block out some time for them at the same time each week or same time of the day. So that's always pretty helpful. Uh, yes, it's definitely the overwhelmed time, but you don't have to think of it. You have to get that perception in your mind. You can perhaps control a little bit of it by following the advice that Dr. Ann gives us today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So whenever they nap, that's when you can batch your things probably. And then the younger they are, the more naps they have, or then the more time that you can spend doing things, perhaps. And I don't know if this came across before in terms of drawing boundaries. When I was pregnant with my first pregnancy, usually people take 3 months, FMLA. So usually that's it. But I told myself that, that first few months is so precious. And, other people in Silicon Valley, they get 6 months. So I requested to have 3 months paid, 1 month unpaid. and then requested the month 5 and 6 to go part-time, like 50%, and then back 75%, and then back to 100%. So I'm so glad that I did that, because like that time will never come back again. And when you observe their milestones as they grow, that time will never ever come back. Having that extra free month was crucial, and extra 2 months of part-time was crucial. And I'm going to be doing the same thing with the second pregnancy as well. Actually 4 months free, and then 2 months 50%. It does take some planning, of course, for you to save up ahead of time, or if you have a spouse to support you. So that's one thing about boundaries. And then the second thing is, in terms of, there's so many things on our plate. How do we get our spouse or family to help us? And it's not what I learned after a year and a half with the baby. What I learned, that it's not about task splitting. I mean, it's a little bit about that. It's about, number one is cares more, who's more passionate about it. That's number one. But actually, it's the number of people you are managing. So what I mean by that is, we were doing like an org chart of our family, and I was managing the au pair, the house manager, the handyman, the lawn person, the school, swimming, and my own executive assistant. So I was managing like 7 people. And they all had questions for me. Anytime something happens, I was reaching out to them, they were reaching out to me. My husband is more of a person who's automating things. Like, he'll take out the trash. He does our like family budget and finances, like bill pay. So those are automated as well. And then he would do like, more electronics in the house and installation and things like that. He sets up the electronics, but those are on his time. That nobody is reaching out to him for anything. Or he doesn't have to reach out to anybody else. So we reorganized the org chart. He's managing, 3 more people. He took on some more people based on his interests, based on how well he wants to do things. It depends on your standards and how well you need things to be done. Whoever has the higher standards will do that, basically. You wouldn't give it to somebody who has a lower standard, like cleaning, etc. And then so I put more people, like my house manager now is managing the swimming. She'll start taking on a little bit of the school communication, because we're switching schools. She's ordering our groceries ourselves. She's planning the meals. So essentially, eventually, I'll just be managing my own executive assistant, my house manager, and the au pair, and that's it. And everything else were shifted down to the house manager. So think about how many people you're managing or who's reaching out to you, and shift that around to see if your spouse or somebody else in your family can help you manage those people, because people managing takes up a lot of mental bandwidth.
Absolutely. I did see a question from one of the viewers. She was just wondering how do we find the time for self-care? So imagine like just managing the people that are answering to you, and switching it around could be one way to find that time for self-care. Do you have any advice as far as?
Yeah, it really depends on what you would like to do for self-care. When you really don't have time, when I don't have time, essentially I set an alarm for 3 p.m., 7 p.m. When there's no time, it can be very quick. It's the 4-7-8 breathing technique. So you breathe in for 4, really quick, through your nose, hold for 7, and breathe out very, very slowly through your nose for 8 counts. So hold for 7 counts, 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8. You can do this 4 times. But sometimes when I'm in rush, the alarm goes off. I'm like, all right, I can even do things. I can cook. I can be with the baby. But I can breathe and hold and exhale slowly. And the key is to have your exhalation longer than your inhalation, so that you activate your parasympathetic system. You get into that relaxed state. So if you really don't have time, that's the most basic things that you can do. Number 2 is scheduling what really brings you joy, what really relaxes you. Schedule it and ask for help for coverage. And if it's regular, if it's on your schedule, and if you make it a non-negotiable, and if you can find help or find nannies or your spouse to help you watch a baby for an hour, then you will do it. You have, like, a lot of times we have our own urgency. We put everybody else ahead of ourselves. Though, if you put yourself ahead of others, you're actually serving others better that way. You're less reactive, you're proactive, you're more patient, you're not stressed, and you can be more present when you're relaxed. So I would actually urge the audience to do it, not just for themselves. It's not selfish, but to do it for the people that you love.
Oh, that's a fantastic perspective. Absolutely. I completely agree with this advice. Yeah, absolutely. To put yourself first so that you could serve others, your children, and so certainly make it a non-negotiable, and consider times that are a little bit more predictable. For example, your baby might take a nap from two, maybe from 2 to 3, 2 to 4, or so. And so maybe that's when you do like a video with these apps for exercising, like the bar exercising or yoga or whatnot. Just maybe even just a half hour is good to
Yeah,
rejuvenate.
yeah. And I do recommend, I do myself, it's called on YouTube Heart Alchemy Yoga. It's power yoga. I've done it before with my baby just playing in the play area. And he actually looks at me and he like laughs what looks at me like what I'm doing. So it's
Okay.
almost like being able to do self-care at the same time, not sacrificing my time with the baby or during the nap time. Some of these sessions are 20 minutes to up to an hour. You just pick the time you have and it's there instantly. Maybe the first step actually right now is to go order yoga mat from Amazon so it's delivered to your door tomorrow or the next day.
No, that's good. This is all great advice. And I just wanted to extend to the audience if there's any other tips that you'd like to share, how you manage your time being a mom, and also any comments also if there's any. So I'm just looking. Oh, no, it looks like everyone's pretty
There's a
organized.
It says, yeah, is there a specific time in a day where it's more ideal to schedule for baby caring or more focused on work? It really depends on your situation. Because I spend the first hour or two with my baby and I block off, 5 to 7:30 with my baby. So I spend at least, on a regular busy day, I spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day with the baby. On a non-busy day, it could be up to like 4 to 5 hours a day. And then weekends are always blocked off for the baby, no matter what, with family, typically. Like there's very rare, if I take a call with a coaching client, it's probably like during his nap time on the weekend, rarely once every few months. So it really depends on the situation. But I would say your most productive time is in the morning. Your golden hour productivity is right when you wake up. So if you really want to start a business, do real estate, invest in real estate, start a business, grow your social media, work full time at the same time, and have date nights with your spouse. I would say you take that morning and wake up 1 extra hour earlier, or even 30 minutes earlier. Get your top 3 priorities on the piece of paper. I just have a regular piece of paper.
Oh yeah, started.
Yeah. So,
Fantastic.
top 3 priorities the night before, you rank them 1, 2, 3. The hardest thing first, the one that requires the deepest work first, not the one that you can check off the quickest first. And you sequence them, and that's so when you wake up, that golden hour, 1 hour, you just tackle those 3 and you will be done for the day. All right. So you can do very, very productive work in that 1 hour before they wake up. And then when they wake up, you can be present with them. You can feel confident that you've already gotten the bulk of the important things done that moves the needle on your goals for the year. And I know if you have a newborn, that's going to be very, very, very difficult. And at that time, you may need to, I prioritize my sleep more at that time. And that's what caused me to hire an executive assistant 2 months postpartum, because I was like, I can't do this on my own anymore. So, if you want to go next level, in your own endeavors. If you want to go next level in delegating and 10x, 20x your productivity, then hiring an executive assistant would be the next step. And they don't have to be expensive from Philippines. That's where mine is right now. And she works my time. She works virtually 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So a lot of times I put the task on Trello with the task management, project management board. And throughout the day, when I'm working full time, she's working on our real estate, she's working on my coaching, she's working on my social media, she's dealing with my emails. So whenever I'm done, we're just, doing like minor communications to kind of, help her. But whenever I'm done with work, a lot of things are already done. And I only focus on my baby during the time that he's awake. So that would be next level. If you have a lot of things that you want to get done, you're an ambitious woman, ambitious working mom, then I would consider hiring help for you full time.
Oh, that this is really good advice, and you could even do like the mommy helper, even the just the neighbor, a kid next door to do that, to help you in the morning on weekends. They would love to have that little bit of money, Christmas money, and then you get a little helper. So that's golden advice, to think outside the box if you can. But
Yeah.
yes.
And then there is one question on techniques on reducing distractions when you have a toddler. You know, for me, actually, it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to go on the screen, computer, or trying to work, or is this something else, like you're trying to clean or you're trying to tidy up the house and your toddler is like, making a mess? If it's the first scenario, at least for me, I do not work or look at my phone when I'm with my child. Like I make it a point to not stare at my phone. My phone is taken away, and if my spouse and I, if we see each other on our phones, we would actually say it because we see our son looking at us and we're not paying attention. Like the phone is more important than him. So, or sometimes we have to check something really quick. We deliberately go to another room or we go behind him so he never sees us on our phone. So we've set it, our priority is to not have to work when we are around him. Now, in terms of if you really, really have to, it depends on what type of the best thing is not have your phone and not have your toddler, of course. But if you don't have the luxury of doing that, and you have to work while your toddler is awake, you probably will not be able to reason with your toddler. Maybe you can, maybe you cannot. You can tell them like an hour later, I'll be able to play with you. But at this time, would you be able to, just play in your playpen on your own, and then you can be next to them. And then, if you have eyes on them and you know that they're safe, or if you have video, then just put on some noise blocking earphones and then play some music, maybe from brain.fm to help you focus. They have a 3-day trial, and then get into flow for 30 minutes or an hour, and then take out your earphones. Only if you have eyes on them to make sure that they're safe, of course. But brain.fm, you can go online for the 3-day trial. You can pick various beats or music that essentially get you into a relaxed state, a focused state, etc. So if you have deep work that you need to do, this music will help you get into that less distracted state.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. That's really interesting. You could try it for 3 days and see if it works for you. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I tried it for 3 days. It worked really well, and I actually recently found out one of the astronauts that at NASA uses it too. So
oh,
like it works really well.
that's fantastic. So I'll definitely put that in the comments when the video posts. So that's a
Oh,
good idea.
one additional thing I wanted to point out in terms of like tech hacks. So, to not get distracted in your email, I would say the number one tech hack that I installed, that's an extension on my Gmail. It's called Inbox When Ready. If you have Gmail, it's a Google Chrome extension. It is like the number one thing that helped me not be distracted when I go in my inbox. So once you install it, when you go into your inbox, it is blank until you press the button show inbox. So a lot of times we're trying to compose something or just respond to someone. You can just search for that person that you need to respond to and respond, or press compose, write that email. So boom, 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 get the 3 done, and then you're done. Then you press show inbox. So many times you go in there, we're scared to go in because we know absolutely we're going to be reactive at the emails that are coming, or be distracted by the promotional emails that don't matter. And if you install Unroll Me, it will have a button next to each email. If you're subscribed to a lot of things and you haven't unsubscribed, you can press that icon next to each, like say a promo email. It'll automatically unsubscribe you within Gmail, and also give you a button to delete all prior emails from that specific sender. So if you need to clean up your junk, prevent distractions, that's another way to do it. So yeah, that would be like a tech hack. Some of the other hacks would be your phone. Just put it in grayscale. You can Google how to grayscale your phone. I don't have it. Well, like I'm on my phone right now, so I can't show you.
You can't show it.
So I also take off all the badges, all the notifications. I have a work phone, so that's okay. People can call me on my work phone, so that works for me. But you can set it so some of your favorites, calls actually come through to you. But I have no badges, no notifications, nothing that shows up on my lock screen, and everything that's WhatsApp, Gmail, messaging, anything that's like people can reach you. It's on the second screen, not the primary screen of my phone, and it's on the second screen, so I have to work for it. It's all in the category called inbox, and since I don't have any badges, I just batch check those messages, because I don't ever know I'm getting messages, and most of the time it doesn't really matter anyway. So people, if it's important, people will call you.
Oh, these are good hacks. Wow. I know I used one of them for the email unsubscribe. So that was extremely helpful. Oh, Dr. Ann, this has been really great.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and it's just been really informative, and I hope that you all enjoyed all the tips and that they are useful for you, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys, and I appreciate you bringing me onto the show. And I know we were, I was giving you like a ton out of a fire hose. So if you guys are interested, you can just go to, right now the podcast is called It's Not Rocket Science Show, but it's quickly going to become Productivity MD. So right now you can search It's Not Rocket Science Show, or you can go to productivitymd.com. Over there, you'll see the podcast episode page. Take a listen. I give a ton of tips on there that's free. And if you are interested, in terms of productivity coaching, human optimization coaching, you can book a coaching discovery call with me on productivitymd.com. So happy to answer any questions. Reach out to me on social media, Tsung and MD, and we'll be able, I hope to help you guys with anything you guys have. I know we don't have a lot of time here.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for your generous offer. I definitely recommend. I've coached with Dr. Ann before, so it's been extremely helpful for me as well. So thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. You guys have an awesome afternoon.
Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll
Bye.
see you next time. Bye.